Good afternoon, my foodie family. How's everybody doing today? I decided to go on live. I'm making dinner already right now. I'm making enfrijoladas and some ground beef tacos. So right now I'm already started on the meat and I'm going to start on my beans. I already have a pot of beans that I made fresh today. I soaked them last night, cleaned them. I soaked them and then they cooked for an hour with the spices. Let me go ahead and switch it over. And like I said, I have my ground beef going. Right now I'm making the ground meat for the tacos. I've been craving them for the longest time. Let me check, you know what? See if I have some cheese. Kind of like a bean enchilada, if you say. So if you're just joining in right now, I'm making for dinner some beef tacos, ground beef tacos, and some enfrijoladas. I made fresh pot of beans earlier today. And I like making them in the, I went blank on my Dutch oven because they come out real thick and creamy. Let me see if I can show you the beans from there. Here's some of my beans right here. They're thick and creamy. That's why I like making them in the, and I added sausage to it. I also added cooked hi Judy. I also added yesterday I made bacon for breakfast, so I saved the grease from the bacon and I sauteed an onion with some regular sausage, and then I threw the beans in there and cooked it for an hour with some spices. That's all to the beans. All that is just from where it was just cooking down over and over again. But it's still good. We're going to need some beans for the enfrijoladas. Okay. Get this. Finish cooking this off. What is everybody cooking today? Are you going to eat out, make sandwiches? What's going on today? Sorry about that. Let's see here. I'm going to add the spices to the ground meat. And this is the lean meat. So it has some fat in it, but not a lot. My little shredder. I like having small little minced meat instead of big old chunks of meat. Okay, let me add some spices to this. And sprinkle some garlic here. You can and a little bit of your chili powder. Now to the ground beef, I had added 1 onion. So as the meat was cooking, so was the onion. Sometimes I'll add tomato sauce instead of the chili powder. You can give it a good mix. And it's just something quick, doesn't take too long. You can make your beans in the slow cooker if you want to overnight, or during the day leave it there while you're at work. You have a pot of beans when you get home. But If you leave them soaking overnight in water, they'll cook within the hour. As long as they're fresh, not old beans, then they'll cook in an hour. If you do it in the Dutch oven like I did on this one, the beans come out super thick and juicy. And there's nothing to it but your basic spices to it. I'll add all the links to how to cook beans and stuff later on. I'll add it to the video. Okay, so I'm going to turn on this burner right here. And I'm going to add maybe about a tablespoon or two of oil. Whatever oil you have at the house. Doesn't have to be any certain type. The meat's already done, but I'm just wanting to soften up the onions a little bit more. Okay, so the meat's done. Turn that off. Switch this around. Okay. To this, I'm going to add, which I already had cut up, some one whole onion and one jalapeno. To the jalapeno, I only added, I took out the seeds. I didn't add anything to it. I took out the seeds. To this, I'm going to add Longaniza cured sausage. And it's kind of like a chorizo, like the breakfast chorizo. But it gives it a different flavor for the enfrijoladas. You don't have to add it, but I like it. Let that cook for a little bit here. Oh, sorry, sis. I'll call you in a little bit. Let's see here. And all you need is just one of the lengths of the sausage. And this is the way it looks in there. And I'm going to cut out the little skin to it. I don't want the skin because it's a little tough. I'm going to cut that skin off. And what I want to do is cook this down a little bit before I add the sausage to it. Because I want to make sure that they're soft and everything, because I'm going to blend it. Yes, I'm going to use my hand blender, or whatever you call it, an immersion blender, whatever you call that. Taco meat's ready for tacos. Just getting this ready here. You could leave the seeds. I'm just not wanting it to make it too spicy, because I can always add salsa to my food. So I don't want to add any spice to it. It's more for flavor of the chile. So like I said, this is one whole onion and one jalapeno. I'm going to let that cook. I want it soft. So if you're just tuning in, I am making for dinner enfrijoladas. And I mean, there's so many ways of making enfrijoladas. This is how I make mine. So to this point now, I'm going to go ahead and add the Longaniza sauce. sausage and just break it up. I took off the skin. I'm not putting in the skin. And it's real thick. It's not like your regular chorizo. It smells very light. It doesn't even smell like your regular breakfast chorizo at all. And we're going to cook that. Let me rinse my hands real quick. Hi, Gina. Okay, so you start cooking that down and break down the chorizo. You could use it for breakfast, the chorizo, but it just doesn't taste as strong as the regular breakfast chorizo. But it's meatier, it's a lot thicker. The regular chorizo, depending on which kind you buy, kind of disintegrates into a lot of fat. Break up that chorizo here. It's a Longaniza. You'll find it where the other regular chorizos are at. Now lower the heat a bit. I do have it on high. I tend to cook a lot of things on high because I want to get them fast. But sometimes you just can't do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually save half of this and I'm going to make it with eggs, with some eggs. Because I don't need this much for what I'm making for today for dinner, because not everybody eats the enfrijoladas here at the house. Okay, so let me get a container for that. Gonna put half of that mixture in here. I don't want too much. Okay. And then to this, I'm just going to scoop with the juice. You really want the juice of the beans. I don't want the sausage that I cooked with the beans. So I don't add that. I just put those sausages back in because I'm going to be smashing these. Okay, and then I'm going to add just more of the juice to this. Okay, let me get some of this sausage out because I don't want to smash up those sausages that I cooked the beans in. Get a little bit, and the juice is super thick on the beans because that's how I made it in the Dutch oven pot. That one makes the beans, the juice real thick. So, just trying to add some of the juice instead of the beans. It smells so good. So I am going to let that cook for a little bit, real low. While that is cooking, I'm going to make the tortillas for the tacos, and I'm going to make the tortillas for this. To this, before I forget, I cut up some corn tortillas. I'm cutting them up. Actually, I could just cut it right here real quick. And I'm just going to add little slivers of it because it's going to make it taste even better. See, I just cut them in little slices, the corn tortilla, and then little chunks, and I'm gonna throw it in there. And yes, it's a thickener, but it's the flavor that I'm going for. Yes, I know it looks gross adding tortillas just like that, but I guarantee you, you're not gonna taste it as far as the texture or anything, because I'm gonna blend all this together, or smash it, whichever way you want to call it. Okay, so I'm gonna let that cook off a little bit. Cut me some, let me put up the sausage. I don't want to leave it out on the counter. Okay, so over here, all I'm going to be doing is have some cheese. Just doing the sides real quick. I'm going to be making a sauce that I'm going to top the enfrijoladas with. Okay, so all we're going to do is just use half a bushel of the cilantro. And I'm lost. I'm going to add a chile serrano. And then to that chile serrano, where's my avocado? Here it is. I'm going to add my avocado. It is a big avocado, but for the price they charge, it better be big. How big it is? As big as my hand. Okay. And then all I'm going to do to this is just add the avocado in there. And you can make as little or as much as you want. And I'm only going to use half of the avocado on this. Let me grab some sour cream. Okay. I'm trying to open this container of sour cream. Okay, and I'll give you all the measurements later. I'm going to put this back in the fridge. Put it right down. And I'm grabbing a lime here. Okay, soften that up a little bit. Okay. And we're going to squeeze a little lime in here. And this is going to be my little salsa for the topping of the enfrijoladas. And then I'm just going to add just a small little cup of water. I have to thin it out a little bit because it's a little thick when you mix it. You don't want it that thick. So I rinse my hands real quick. Now I always just put a little bit. This is like a 2 ounce, I think. And then I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. a little bit of cumin. And to this one, I will add salt on this. Okay. And I'm going to use that. Okay, let's get this going. The cilantro gets caught in the blade, so sometimes it gets a little bit hard. I'm going to add more avocado. So let me blend this up a little bit. Let me add a little bit of avocado to this. Okay. Let me take this. Make it smaller and easier for them to bunch up in there. And now the knives, I just got them, so I'm a little scared to kind of stab the pit and take it out. Normally I'll just use the knife and then that's it, but I'll just scoop it up, play it safe. And I'm going to add a little bit more of the water to thin it out. So it's a whole cup, it's about 2 ounces of water on this. Let me mix the beans over here. Okay, beans are looking good, softening up the tortilla. And let me do this again here. Oops, I unlocked it. And you want to taste it before you pour it out, because you need to add more spice, more salt. That's totally up to you. Let me scoop that bottom part out. I need a little bit more salt. Oh, it's spicy. Ooh, let me get some water. That is spicy. It's only one chile that I put in here. See if I can squeeze any more of that lemon or lime. And it does need a little bit more salt. So I'm going to add the salt to it. That one's coming out just a little bit. Let me get the bigger salt here. And I do want to add more of the garlic and a little bit more of the cumin. Like I said, you can always add more, you can never take away. So just add a little bit at a time, just to your liking actually. And I'll probably add a little bit more water because it was a big avocado. So. And it just depends how thick you want it. I want to be able to sprinkle it on there, so that's why I'm trying to make it thinner. But you could just put dollops of it, kind of like the thickness of the sour cream when it's coming out. Okay. Let's try this again. Cilantro blend it real good. You got those chiles in the bottom. Always take this apart before you pull it out, because you can accidentally hit the button and that blade will start turning. Okay, this is perfect. Spicy though. Give me a second because I'm going to reuse this. I should have made some rice. I didn't think about making some rice. I was actually thinking about just the enfrijoladas, and I decided I'll make some tacos, and I completely forgot about the rice. So I'm going to switch places here. Because this is a little thick for this, if I can get it. Oh, it's perfect. I put it in this so I can get it later and store it. Hopefully I won't make a big old mess. Not only does it serve for you to be serving it, but you can use it as a storage when you see that's a big old chunk right there of the either chile or the cilantro, maybe even the avocado. It's time for me to invest in a new hand blender. Had that at least 20 years. And this right here, this avocado salsa will taste good with just about any taco. Especially the carne asada tacos. Oh my god, that tastes so good with it. Alright, let's cover this up. I got a big old mess here. I gotta clean up all this. I'm gonna go ahead and add just a little bit of water to thin this out a bit, just a bit. And put this on a lower heat. So now the tortillas are soft in here. And you can get a bean smasher, potato smasher, whatever you want to call it, to smash it, but it takes a little bit long to do that. So, since the blade doesn't touch down here, I'm going to go ahead and use this to blend this. See how well that turns out. I'm a little scared still to... And it just goes by a lot faster. It smells good. Yeah, get some creamy beans. And you can leave it a little chunky, but I'm trying to get rid of the tortillas that are in here, because that's what's going to give it some flavor. I'm doing it this way in the corner so I don't scratch the pan. And it's just a little bit faster than using that bean smasher or potato masher, whatever you want to call it. Okay, make sure you take it off so you don't want to press on the button. A mix real quick so I can look at it. I still see a few tortillas. I'm going to smash them a little bit more. And let me give that a taste. Okay. To that I'm going to add just a little bit of garlic. A little bit of the comino. And then I'm going to add a little bit of the norpollo just to give it that salt flavor and oil flavor. could leave it like this, or I could blend it more. Just trying to get it. Doesn't matter the thickness because you're gonna pour it in the tortilla anyway. Kind of like making enchiladas, but it's out of beans. And give that a taste here. That tastes good. That chorizo, the Longaniza chorizo, it gives it, I mean, it tastes a little bit like the breakfast chorizo, but it's not as strong. It's actually a little bit sweeter. Okay, so the beans are done. I'm going to put that aside. And then I'm going to be making the tortillas for it. I'm going to higher it just a little bit more to get this out of the way. Let me clean up just a little bit just to get all this mess out. And that way I can have room to plate. So I'm warming up the oil for the tortillas. And I'm going to cut a little bit of lettuce and a little bit of tomato. Make sure you rinse all your vegetables prior to all this. Okay, you just want to... I use the slicer for the tomato because it's just easier to slice. At least for me. Okay, so there's the oil's ready. It's calling me. So let me get some tortillitas going. I'm going to place this here. And you're just going to soften the tortillas like you would for an enchilada. Give it a quick turn. If for some reason it gets real hard on the edges, that's fine. You can always add more juice or soak it in the bean a little bit before you serve it, and it'll soften up those corners. Kind of like a bean enchilada. That's all it is. I'm going to make some tortillas for the tacos. I love, 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 love a crispy taco. So I'm going to go ahead and make me a crispy shell taco here. Oh, Gina, that sounds good. I know. I love tacos. But I'm making the crispy shell for this one taco. Trying to make it as crispy as possible. And I don't want to put it too narrow because then the meat doesn't fit in there. So just use your tongs to kind of make that space in between. Okay, so that crispy taco's ready. I'll make one more just to show you so I can plate. Like I said, it's kind of like making enchiladas. I'll finish making the rest here in a little bit, just so I can show you what it looks like. Let that drain out a bit. I'm going to bring the meat this way, kind of like to let it heat up a little bit. It should be warm, but I'll put this aside. Give this a little mix here. So you don't burn yourself. Give it a little bit of heat here. Okay, so then, like I said, I'm only going to be cutting up a little bit of the lettuce. I'll make some more tortillas here in a little bit. Just want a plate so I can get off. And got my pan over here because I put a little bit of heat on that meat. Let me mix it up. I don't want no cold taco. I actually like my tacos with Tabasco. And this is a paring knife, but it cuts really, really good. Like I said, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of lettuce and tomato on my tacos. A little bit on my bean enchiladas, enfrijoladas. And everybody makes enfrijoladas very different. This is just the way I make them. I also like making some that are called enchiladas. So it's basically a lot of cilantro. So if you like cilantro, those are really, really good. Some people don't like cilantro. They say it tastes like soap. I guess it's an acquired taste. I grew up with cilantro, so to me it's awesome. So, but I mean, these are real juicy. They're sliding everywhere. You turn off this meat. Give it a little mix. Like I said, I'm just warming it up. Almost done here. But this is what's going to be for dinner for us. Enfrijoladas with taco de carne picada, which is just like a bean enchilada. And just some bean tacos. Just giving it a thick rough chop on this lettuce. I actually like using this knife more for my bread, which is intended for something like that, but the first one I grabbed and I just started using it. I went to my local grocery store and I bought it, I don't know, a few weeks ago. It came with a cutting board and about 5 or 6 knives, different kinds, and they all have wood its floor on the side. Okay. I'm ready. I'm going to start plating. Okay, let me get a plate. So I'm going to do the enfrijoladas first. And get some cheese ready here. Any kind of cheese you could put in there, Monterey cheese, whatever cheese you like, that's totally up to you. So basically, like I said, it's just like an enchilada, but it's out of beans. And you can make them thick, you can make them thin, totally up to you. And what I like doing is placing them in the microwave just for a few seconds so I can get that cheese melted on it. A little bit of cheese in that one. And there's nothing to it, that's it. I mean, you can use plain beans. You don't have to put the chorizo. on it. That Longaniza chorizo, you don't have to. It's just preference. Okay. I'm gonna roll that up. Then I'm gonna still add just in the corners, because the corners of the tortillas tend to kind of dry out, get a little hard. So I'm going to do that. You could put it, all of it on top if you want. It's totally up to you. Because it's like an enchilada. Okay, it looks a little sloppy, yes I know. But the flavor's so good. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the microwave for a few seconds. Oh, okay, you fry yours with ground beef inside, kind of like a little taquito already. So I'm going to warm it up again some more because I want to make sure the cheese melts on it. Sorry, keeping y'all waiting here, making all this. Okay, the cheese has melted just enough. So all I need to do is just melt a little bit. Just wiping up this mess on the side. Okay, get this out of the way here. I got beans everywhere. Okay, so now bring back my taco meat. A little bit of taco here. Look at that, all that meat, full of meat here. Should have made some rice, but I didn't. So I don't know about you, but I do like a little bit of just plain lettuce and tomato, a little salad on my enchiladas. So I'm going to add a little bit of that salad to the enchiladas as well. So you got it for your taco. Tuck that in. You could sprinkle cheese on your taco if you like. That's totally up to you. And I can't wait to get into the enfrijoladas. Let me add a little bit of this here. Okay. Kind of hard when you have all that meat in there to keep that tomato in there and everything else. I just push it in. Okay, so the best part for me, the little salsa. Be careful, don't put too much, it's spicy. Guess I should take my own advice, huh? I tend to always put a lot. Okay, I'm gonna sprinkle some on the, yeah, it has a big old chunk of something. Let's see if I can't get it. It's gonna squirt. See if I can get that little thing. Yeah. Big old chunk of cilantro. It's hard sometimes if you don't blend it correctly. Squirting everywhere. That cilantro didn't get blended well. But oh well. I'm just going to keep on squeezing. I'm going to dollop it out because I don't want it here. I'm going to put it in the center. And I will spread it from there. I'll get it later and blend it well. So you see some of the chiles and that, it's still real thick. So that's why it's having trouble. A little bit coming out from there. But let me get a fork. I'll wipe all this mess off here. Give me a second. And give you a close-up here. That looks really good. It looks all messy, looks like all one thing. But the flavor from it, it is awesome. Give me a second here. I'm trying to disconnect my phone and okay. So I have a little bit of this. Okay. Oh, it's cheesy, just the way I like it. We have a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of that avocado. That's some good cheese there. I'll switch you over. Okay. So thank you guys. This is, like I said, how I make my enfrijoladas. Let me see what it tastes like. It's really good. That cilantro salsa really makes a difference in the flavor. I personally like corn tortillas with beans and add some tomatoes. Like, I'm happy just with that. But this right here is good. Try that taco. I got soft on one side where it was leaning on the... Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's really good. Gotta get some more of that salsa. Okay. Y'all need to try this. So, post later on, see what y'all cooked. If y'all decided to make tacos. I know, Gina, you said you were going to make tacos. It tastes so good. I wish I could taste it. Anyways, y'all have a good night. Or a good evening. And I'm trying to finish swallowing here. This is really good. Okay, so post your pictures, your recipes if you have any, your videos of your food, or y'all eating out with family or just yourself. Go ahead and post it. Even a cup of coffee, just stop by and say hello. Thanks for hanging out with me. Love you guys. Y'all have a good one. Okay, good night or bye. It's not yet.